Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside. Oh, I do like to be beside the sea. Oh, I do like to stroll along the prom, where the brass bands play, diddly-um. So just let me be beside the seaside. I'll be beside myself with glee.
Okay, so I'm now on the last little bit of chart 9, where we're now going to be starting to add the seagulls. So obviously I haven't shown you the rest. The first bit of the chart uses the 3 colours, but we already went through that on chart 7 for the parasol canopies. So hopefully you've now got to this point. I'm now on row 27, and you'll notice on row 27 we've got an extra abbreviation that we haven't used before, which is BM. And all that means is it's a back loop double crochet, but we're going to place a marker in it when we've made it. That's just going to help us with the seagulls, okay? So, and also, as I think I said on a previous part, my colours aren't exactly the same. Although I'm using the Hunstanton colourway to make my little sample for these videos, because I'm not doing every part, I have kind of tweaked the order of the colours just to make my blanket bit more balanced. But anyway, the colour that you are now using for the roofs of the beach huts and the seagulls, make sure you've obviously got your standing, or you've got your slip knot on your hook, because we're now going to start, as we have been with every row, obviously with standing double crochet and a chain. Now we go straight into this BM. Okay, so our very first stitch before the repeat is a double crochet in the back loop, and then, oh, I should have mentioned the markers. So obviously that's why we've got the markers, because the BM means you put a marker in that stitch when you've made it. Okay, so we're just going to do that, and I'm going to carry on with the roofs of the beach huts. So we've got 8 back loop double crochets, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 3 front loop trebles, 1 back loop double crochet, another 3 front loop trebles. Okay, so these are all the stitches you're very familiar with by now. And then we've got 14 back loop double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 12, 13, 14, 2 front loop trebles, 4 back loop double crochets, 2, 3, 4, 1 front loop treble, 4 back loop doubles, 2 trebles, 5 back loop double crochets, 3, 4, 5, and that now takes us to the last stitch of the repeat, which is another back loop double crochet, but again we're going to pop a marker in it. Okay, so that is what you're going to be repeating across. Let's carry on, do that, and come back, and we will go through row 28 together. So actually row 28 was a nice easy one, which was just using our standard overlay mosaic crochet stitches. So I've actually gone ahead and done that, and I'm now on row 29, where we've got 2 more different abbreviations. Now they look kind of complicated, but actually once we come to make the seagulls, you'll realize they're not nearly as complicated as it looks. So you may recognize the little sort of double F symbol in there again, which we were using when we were doing the sort of 3 colour overlay down here, which just means that that's a double treble 3 rows down rather than a treble 2 rows down. And then you've got the +2 or -2, and all that is telling you is instead of going straight down, you'll either go 2 stitches ahead or 2 stitches before the stitch you usually would work into. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So we're going to start obviously again with our slip knot on our hook. Oh, and what I should tell you as well, didn't move the stitch markers up. So the stitch markers are still in place on row 27 because that is going to be basically the middle of our seagulls. Okay, so that's the center of the seagulls, which is why we put the markers in there, so we know what we're doing. Okay, so they are still in position on row 27. We didn't move them up to 28. Okay, so to start row 29, our edge stitch and chain as usual. Now we've got 1 back loop double crochet before we start our repeat, and then our repeat starts with another one. And now we come across our first FF, which is -2. So as I was saying, if you were doing a normal FF, you would actually be working 2 rows directly below here, which obviously you can't because we've just got our trebles in there. There's no front loop. So we need to count 2 back, which coincides with where we've placed our marker. Okay, so that's all we're now going to do. It's a double treble. Okay, and insert our hook into there and make the stitch. Okay, so we've still got to miss 1 stitch behind it, and then we've got 9 back loop double crochets. So that is basically the principle. So when you see minus, you do it to the 2 stitches before you usually would, and if you see a +2, then it'll be 2 stitches afterwards, which we will be doing shortly. So what have we got there? We have got 6, 7, 8, 9, then 1 front loop treble in the middle of our beach heart there, then 11 back loop double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 10, 11. Okay, then we've got another BM stitch, so there we go, there's 1 more back loop double crochet, and this time we're putting a marker in it again. Okay, because that's where we're going to do some more seagulls in another couple of rows. So what we can actually do, we don't need, once you actually completed both the stitches into your marked stitch from row 27, you can actually take them out so we can reuse them on this row. Okay, so we'll carry on. We've now got another 8 back loop double crochets, 2, 3, 7, 8, 2 front loop trebles, 3 back loop doubles, 2 front loop trebles, and 6 back loop double crochets, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is where we now find our FF +2. So as you can see, we're not going to go down there, we're going to go +2, so that's 1, 2, down into our marked stitch again. Okay, so double treble, so you're wrapping the yarn around twice. Okay, then you end the repeat with 2 back loop double crochets. So we've got to make sure we miss this first one because that's the one that's officially behind our double treble there, and then 2 back loop double crochets now takes us back above that marker again. Okay, so that is, there we go, our first repeat done. So I'll just start off the next repeat again, so we'll be finishing off the seagulls together. Okay, so the next repeat starts with another back loop double crochet, so we've got 3 in between there, and then we've got our FF -2, so instead of being down there, it's going into there again. into our marked stitch. 1, 2, 3. Make sure you miss that one there, and then we'll carry on with our 9 back loop double crochets again. So there we go. That's how you make the seagulls, and we'll just be filling in these bits in the middle there so they stand out more. So yeah, carry on and complete that row, and then I'll come back. I will actually come back row 30 with you, just so I can show you how we do work around the seagulls. Okay, so I've now removed the markers that were in row 27 to show the sort of middle of our seagulls. But we've got to leave these. We've got to remember when we do this row that we're going to leave these markers in on row 29 because we'll need them for the middle of the next lot of seagulls. Okay, so I'm just going to get you started on row 30 so you can see how we finish off the seagulls. Okay, so obviously as always we're going to start with our edge stitch and a chain. And then we've got a front loop treble before the repeat starts. So obviously that's our chain. There's our front loop treble there. And then our repeat has another front loop treble, and that's sort of hidden behind our slopey stitch there. We still need to do that into there, okay? Then we have 2 back loop double crochets to complete the wing of the seagull. Okay, and 8 front loop trebles. And so that is basically what you do around the seagulls, okay? Make sure that you work when we get to the next one, you'll have your 3 front loop trebles in front of the 3 double crochets in the middle there. So obviously the first and the last one might be hidden slightly, but still make sure you still do your treble into that. And then you've just got the 2 back loop double crochets, one on top of your front loop double treble, and then the next stitch there just to complete the wings. Okay, so that is all I need to show you now to enable you to complete the main body of your blanket, because it's just the standard back loop double crochet front loop trebles for the sun and kites in the next part, and then I'll just come back and run you through how we do the border.
Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside. Oh, I do like to be beside the sea. Oh, I do like to stroll along the prom, where the brass bands play, diddly-um, pom, pom.